What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Random Football. It's your boy Demeachnyc here. Like, comment, and subscribe on the video below. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram in the description, and definitely follow me on Twitter as well, on X or whatever the hell they call it. And today, well, I made a video yesterday about the game that I thought would be an incredible game, the Newcastle versus Tottenham Hotspur, and the game was actually at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I believed it was at St. James Park prior to the game starting, so I got that mixed up, and I said that my prediction would be 5-4, and that was anything but a 5-4 victory for Newcastle. But I did predict that Newcastle would win today's game, and which they did 2-1. However, I'm going to address something that is really, I'm just sick to death with it at this point. I think the Premier League in general needs to do a better job. And it's these referees. Honestly, I don't care how it feels. I don't care how it sounds, but the referees are just incompetent. The referees are inconsistent. The referees are, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the referees are biased because, again, I'm just sick to death of it. I'm bored. Games getting decided based on the referee's decisions. I think games need to be decided based on the quality and the performances of the team at hand. And that this is definitely referring directly to the Arsenal versus Brighton game and the Tottenham Hotspur versus Newcastle game. So let's get into it. The first game I'm going to break down is obviously the Tottenham Hotspur versus Newcastle game. That was the game that I was most excited with. The game ended 2-1 for Newcastle. But please explain to me. So basically, the first incident that I saw, Bergvall was given the ball outside of the penalty box. I believe the goalkeeper played it to Bergvall. They tried to play it out from the back. And then Bergvall had tried to make a pass to a fellow teammate of his, and the ball hit a Newcastle player. I think it was Joe Linton on the hand, basically, in a natural position or whatnot. And I don't care if it wasn't the first touch made to Anthony Gordon. I don't care if it was played to someone and then it was played to Anthony Gordon. That handball or leading, that pass that was attempted to be made to a teammate of Bergvall on Tottenham, it got interfered by whose hand? Joe Linton's hand, and it led to the goal. It led to the goal. To me, I look at it and I think that's a blatant handball. I don't even know how that's not a handball. I don't know how that is not called back. I don't know how that's not even looked at. I think it's absolutely disastrous. I think anybody that saw the game at hand knows that, listen, like, Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 up. They had just scored within 3 minutes of the game, I should say, by Dominic Solanke's header. And Bergvall didn't do anything wrong. Not to say that Joe Linton necessarily did anything wrong, but it hit his hand. Am I the only one that saw that it hit his hand? It hit his hand and it led directly to the goal. Anybody that saw that, saying, I'm hearing a lot of things that people said, listen, if it was in the penalty box and it wouldn't be a pen, then or it wouldn't be called back, then it shouldn't be called back outside the box. Well, that is very black and white, but, football is not black and white. And I think these referees are doing too much of a black and white job. Too much of a black and white job in the Premier League this season when it comes to these decision making. I mean, that's a handball all day. It's a handball all day. And for that to be given a goal for Newcastle, which obviously enabled them to win the game because it was 1-0. Then it was 1-1 because of the handball decision and the goal from Anthony Gordon, which was well taken. And then they won the game 2-1 by Alexander Isak. I completely understand where Ange Postecoglou is coming from. I genuinely believe exactly where he's coming from. I think it's so blatant to me that it was a handball. And I feel sorry for him because this is a guy that has defended the referees in the past, and today they've done absolutely nothing but made him look like a lunatic on the touchline. And it's just shocking to see, again, that these referees have proven time and time again just how incompetent they are and just how much they want to make the game about themselves. And it is, and the biggest issue for me is that they when it comes to certain situations like that, it's just the fact that they have these rules set out that is made to be that's installed there for one given context or one given scenario where, like, you know say that was in a separate scenario, that law would only apply to that scenario itself, not in a scenario like this that happened today against Tottenham Hotspur, where the ball clearly hit someone's hand. The rule is you cannot play football with your hand. It obviously hits Joe Linton's hand, and it leads to the goal scored by Newcastle. You know, I don't see why that's not given a free kick or taken back or drop ball or anything. I just think it's foolish to me, and it's not surprising at all. Going into the game, though, Anthony Gordon. This is against Newcastle now. Anthony Gordon, as bad as the first call was by the referee, I think the referee was Andy Medley that was refereeing the game. As bad as that call was, this call was also as bad. Anthony Gordon had a bloody nose, was knocked out by the shoulder of Dejan Kulusevski, and I just think that, Kulusevski didn't mean to hit him. I don't think he meant to shoulder strike him in the nose, that led to his bloody nose. But I just can't believe that the referee saw that and didn't think, what, maybe I should double check this to see if it's a penalty. Maybe he made the right decision in that given time, but, this is definitely going to hit home in the later game that happened today and the later decision that happened today, which was the Arsenal versus Brighton game. Going into the game, there was a lot of speculation about the players that were going to play for Arsenal. We knew that Havertz was injured, Saka's obviously injured, Timber suspended. So I think, you look at it and you say maybe this game might be a little tough for Arsenal, but you assume that they were going to win the game. They go 1-0 up in the first half by Ethan Nwaneri's brilliance. He's an absolute gem of a player, only 17 years of age. He's absolutely excellent. And, in the 60th minute, we see basically a clash of heads between Saliba and João Pedro. Anthony Taylor was the one that was refereeing this game. And we've known in the past that Anthony Taylor is one of the most controversial referees, and Arsenal fans know that for themselves, that Anthony Taylor just always seems to do them over. Today's game, though, Arsenal didn't play well. They played well in the first half, but they did not play well in the second half. But, the performances, even if Spurs lost today's game or if they didn't win or didn't play well, even if Arsenal didn't win and they didn't play well, the decisions on the pitch by the referees, all of these decision-making by the referees, they decide the game at the end of the day. If it's something like a penalty, obviously a penalty is an opportunity for a team to score and to win games and get back into the game. In this context, that decides the game, because at the end of the day, after the penalty was given, Brighton didn't score after that. So Arsenal didn't score after that either. So it sorry about that. It all comes into play. But the decision at hand, though, I will say this, it was a clash of heads. Saliba is not a reckless defender. Saliba is one of the best defenders in the world, let alone in the Premier League. We've seen rash tackles made in the Prem when it comes to trying to win the ball, but it's just one of those things where that just was not a penalty for me. I mean, João Pedro, he wins the ball, and he's trying to go for the ball with his head. Saliba tries to go with the ball with his head, and it just nicks him off the side of his temple. And obviously the referee is looking at everything, trying to see if it's a penalty. And when I saw it for myself, I did not think it was a penalty at all. The referee, especially on the replay, João Pedro rolls all over the floor to make more of it than it was supposed to. And I think that, to me, is the real reason why that was a penalty. I never seen a penalty given for that. I've never seen a penalty clash of heads before. I've seen games where players clash of heads many, many times, and it's always accidental. You have to give the players the benefit of the doubt. They're competing and trying to win the ball back. It's a 50-50. If that is never going to be, I don't think that's going to be given a foul in the box or outside the box 9 times out of 10, because that's just the standpoint. I think the referee would just call a clash of heads and be precautionary with the situation, because that is what the referees are meant to do, be precautionary. Instead, the Anthony Taylor, he wanted to take it upon himself to make a game time decision that was going to definitely change the reflection of the game, and he gave it a penalty. And I think that just goes to show you that, listen, that is just bad refereeing. The referee, had he not given that a penalty, I doubt VAR would get involved with that. But, it is what it is. I feel sorry for Arsenal fans. I feel sorry for Tottenham fans all around, because I think, both teams have been done out by the referees, Andy Medley and Anthony Taylor. And I look at the PGMOL and I have questions for them as well. I have questions for them again as to why they seem to not be able to really officiate the game like it's supposed to. I really don't understand why the referees in the Premier League, in the best league in all of football, just seems to get it wrong with the refereeing and officiating in the league. I don't get it. I don't see it in the Bundesliga. I don't see it in La Liga. I don't see it in the Serie A. I don't see it in Ligue 1. I don't see it in the Portuguese league. I don't see it anywhere else besides the Premier League. And with the addition of VAR, it's only made things worse, and it's only made things more complicated. So I just think that the referees have once again messed it up. They have completely went off script with this one. And I'm just sick to death of it. I'm just bored. I think things need to be changed. And I'm looking at Howard Webb. That's why he's in the thumbnail, because I think he's an absolute clown. I said this about a month ago, how much of a clown he is. And it's just surprising to me. You're never gonna see kicking the ball away. I've seen that enough times after, say, several times in the Premier League this season. The first ones I can really think of is Trossard at Manchester City and Declan Rice again against Brighton, which is very ironic because a bad decision was made against Arsenal against Brighton again in the replay fixture. And that rule, that kicking the ball away, doesn't apply anymore. I've seen countless teams do it. I've seen Arsenal do it. They don't get anything anymore. I've seen Manchester City, I've seen Liverpool, I've seen Brighton, I've seen all of the teams kick the ball away after the whistle is blown, and the referees don't say anything. So you can just tell that rule was just there to be experimented with, and they figured out that it needs to be botched, and they botched it. So where is the level of integrity in this Premier League? Where is the level of actually having some authority in the Prem? Because it's being questioned time and time again. But other than that, though, decent games played today. Manchester City had a good win against West Ham. I don't think that was really anything we could talk more about. I think they're back into their form. Chelsea tied again, but the big one is definitely the Manchester United versus Liverpool derby tomorrow. Who am I kidding? That's obviously going to be the biggest game of the week, and I'm going with a 5-0 Liverpool win. Honestly, I think it's going to be 5-0. If it's anything less than that, then I think Manchester United could at least give them a pat in the back. And if they do win tomorrow, then that's a big miracle. That's a big miracle for me when it comes to Manchester United at this moment in time. So that's all I got for today, folks. Like, comment, subscribe in the video. Follow me on my socials if you haven't already. Look into the description, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.